Hi, I'm Kevin Soroki, head men's basketball coach, and you're watching Titantown Sports. Go Titans!
Welcome back. Thank you all for joining us on this week's new episode of Titantown Sports. I'm Jordan Tate. Today I'm joined by Jake Spiritoso. Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to get into it.
Absolutely, Jake. It's your first time being on set. I got to ask you, how's it feel?
Absolutely. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited, and I'm ready to get into it with you, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I know. I remember my first time just thrown to the wolves, I remember, and so scared of messing up and stuttering, whatever, but I promise you, you'll get the hang of it. Nothing to worry about. Just have a great time and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And Jake, Wednesday, Wilmington played against Kennedy Catholic. Kennedy is first in the state. Wilmington is number 2 in the state. Wilmington High School is also 13-0. That game was an incredible battle. Let's take a look at some highlights from that game. As you can see, Kennedy Catholic took the lead early and kind of just held it the whole way, and that's all thanks to senior Lake Fields, an RMU commit. She dropped 28 points and 12 rebounds this game. You can see she's an absolute unit in the paint, unstoppable. But here we see Wilmington senior Leah Crater up with a three-pointer for the Wilmington Hounds, and again goes right back to Lake Field to just a power in the paint, unstoppable. Kennedy went on to win the game 67-42 and improved to 8-2 on the season. Wilmington caught their first loss of the season. Jake, I got to ask you, in that scenario, what can you really do if you're Wilmington trying to defend Lake Fields in the paint?
Yeah, Lake Fields is phenomenal. You could see her getting 2-and-1s in those clips, and it's really impressive. She's averaging 23 points per game and also 15 rebounds with shooting 72% from the field. Yeah. So it's really impressive.
Again, and she's in high school, committed to RMU. She's 6 foot. That's just something you don't really see.
Absolutely.
At that kind of age, and she's a very promising future. It's incredible to look at. But Jake, we also have more basketball coming up with Westminster and Grove City, and Grove City's Grove City. They're good at every single sport. Yes, you can't really do much about that. Lacrosse, football, you name it, soccer. They just won the PAC championship this past year. There's an absolute unit. What do you have to add about that?
Yeah, I think everybody just wants to beat Grove City, and obviously Westminster was going in and wanted to give them their all, unfortunately falling short with a score of 55-47. And I think they did a great job, but just fell short, unfortunately.
Absolutely. We had Ben Kelly talk to Coach Scott after the game. Here's what she had to say.
Coach Scott, welcome back to Titan Radio. Shaking it up a little bit on the radio live now. Tough loss. What kind of positives do you take from this game?
I take a lot of positives. I think coming in here, it's a very hard place to play, and I thought this is the first time in a couple years that we came in here and our defense held us in this game. That was very proud of that. We had 2 charges. Kano took 2 charges. We were getting after loose balls. It's getting there. We just had 23 turnovers. Missed a lot of free throws, offensive rebounds. So that's controllable stuff, which is good, but I felt like we did a better job defensively and offensively moving the ball. But their press kind of set us back. They got back in the game with that. It's one thing we talked about at halftime. We knew they were going to come out, be more aggressive on it. And then that wears your point guards out. Like KO and Brush are handling the majority of it, and they have to come down here and play defense on their best players. So, I'm proud of how they fought through that.
Great interview there by Ben Kelly and Coach Scott. And Jake, I talked to Coach Scott earlier this year, and she said it's kind of a rebuild year. They're trying to get back on track, new players, new positions, younger players stepping up into bigger roles. How do you kind of attack that kind of adversity?
I think it's important to be able to create that chemistry and get everything going and rolling. And of course, turnovers and missed shots are going to be a key part of a game. But once they get rolling, I think it's going to be really good for them.
Absolutely. She also said, despite their lack of success this season, one would say, she says that the players continue to come to practice every single day, excited, bought in. How much do you think that means to Coach Scott, knowing that it's a bit of a down year, but the players are still so involved and loving the sport?
Like you said, being involved is so important, and I think having a team that wants to be there, wants to put in that work and get better, I think it's really important to have, and I think that will grow them throughout the year.
Absolutely, and chemistry is one big thing, especially when it comes to brothers. The DiPietro brothers had an interview with R.J. Scott. Let's take a look at that.
From starting off the driveway to the YMCA, the DiPietro brothers are a beautiful story of trial and tribulation, brotherhood, and overcoming. I'm R.J. Scott, and today I present to you the DiPietro brothers.
He's a great kid. I think we've grown up playing basketball a lot. Obviously, it sucks this year that he's not able to play with us. But I think it's more of an exciting thing and more optimistic about next year for him to fully recover and then get back to what he's capable of doing.
My journey for me was I was getting recruited a lot by Mount Union in my senior year of high school, and I ended up talking to Soroki and at the time Dylan O'Hara. And they pretty much, they told me, hey, if you come here, you'll have a starting spot. We think you'll get a lot of minutes. And I was like, how could I pass that up? And I really liked Coach Soroki and Dylan O'Hara. And so I decided to give it a chance, and I'm really glad I did.
For me, I feel like my senior year, I kind of flew under the radar. I only got reached out to by, I think, Penn State Barron was my only school. And then I was in contact with Coach Mo, who's a former assistant coach here. Obviously, a chance to play with my brother was a pretty big impact in making my college decision. So ended up coming here and then, earning a pretty big role for myself this year.
Oh, absolutely. And I can tell you, just watching from the bench, I'm so proud. It's really cool to watch someone succeed that you've grown up with your whole life. And I've always known that he had the talent to do what he's doing on the court. And I'm glad that he's finally, our coaches are noticing it and other teams are noticing it. So it's really cool as a big brother.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been seeing this kid dominate since we've been in middle school. And I think, it's tough. I got injured my sophomore year, so we haven't really got to play with each other that much. But I think as more of a leader to me and someone I look up to, it's been pretty cool to watch and to see what he's done here. I mean, he started every single game he's played in, and, we can't wait for next year to see what he's capable of doing.
I mean, from last year, I don't know. Do you have any?
I think, not in terms of us, but I think as a team, a good moment for us was, I remember Reese Leon's game winner against Waynesburg was kind of a good team moment.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for us right now, we haven't had, too many moments between us.
The basket right side, hangs in, shot off the glass and good, and a foul to go with it. A chance for a three-point play for Brady DePietro.
The whole scenario in my head.
Okay.
It was, I think second to last day of school. And I was on the bike, we were doing an open gym, and I was just trying to keep my legs fresh. I remember seeing him go to the floor and, going through the injury myself. I remember looking at, down the court and being like, damn, this can't be good. It sucks, but it's one of those things where, it is what it is, and we're excited. I know he's been recovering really well, and I know he's going to keep doing that. I know he's going to come back better than ever next year, so.
I knew when I fell that I tore it. It was an immediate, thought. I felt the snap of it. And so I kind of, going into, when I went to the doctors and coming out of it, it was more the mindset of, I know I'm going to miss the season. And it's getting over that and kind of going, all right, you're going to miss a whole season, so just focus on the next season. And so that's kind of been my, my goal and my mindset is just getting better and better and better every day, to really just produce in the next season. I would definitely say so. We've made a lot of friends here, and our teammates are great. I got nothing but good things to say about them. So
yeah, I mean, I know our success on the court this year has kind of not been the greatest. I know we've been in some close games and stuff, but off the court, I mean, we're as close as it gets as a team. I know, going to school with your brother is one thing, but having close guys around you is something else too.
I guess sometimes you forget how cool it is to play with your brother, and I think I definitely I take it for granted sometimes. But when you take a step back and you really realize how cool it is, how special it is to play with your family, it's and I get to sit on the bench and watch him and cheer for him, and really focus on how he's playing and help him out and give him advice. It's just a really cool role for me to play as a big brother and a teammate and a friend. And it's all I could ask for, really.
Yeah, I feel like, last year I had a smaller role. I got to watch him play. This year's watching me play. So hopefully next year, going into the senior year, we can both play. But,
yeah.
He raises a fair point. I hope when we do get older and stuff, we can look back at our Westminster experience and talk about some of the good times we had.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool to play with your brother.
Brothers in arms, teammates, and best buds for life. Trey and Brady have been through every phase of life together, and they're only getting started. This is the DePietro Brothers on Titantown Sports. I'm RJ Scott, and thank you for watching.
An amazing story there by RJ and the DePietro brothers, and I can only imagine how incredible that chemistry has to be. Dating all the way back to, I imagine their youth, playing in the front yard, or not the front yard, the front street, playing basketball, going against each other, getting banged up, always making it fun. How could you imagine that win as a kid?
Yeah, I think it's definitely good to have somebody that you're always competing against. I think it's good bringing it into the game because you're always like wanting to compete, and then after the game, like talking with your brother, like, oh yeah, I outscored you or whatever. Just trying to make each other better.
Absolutely, and I imagine, eventually when they start going down the court together, throwing each other alley-oops, whatnot, just like they planned it when they were younger. But just such a special group, such a special duo there.
Yeah, absolutely. And when at the next home game, you might want to check out the mural on the wall. There's a lot of athletes there. And there's one main athlete that we're going to check out this week, and that's Buzz Riddle. And Emily Talis is going to take us through that with the Mural Minute.
The mural in the Westminster College Fieldhouse honors the towering history of the proud Titan tradition, with former Titan athletes and coaches representing their teammates and their teams. The mural features 12 national championships, 5 National Football Foundation Hall of Fame inductees, numerous All-Americans, Conference Players of the Year, Titan Sports Hall of Fame inductees, coaches and players of historical significance, representatives from all men's and women's intercollegiate sports, and contemporary coaches and players. The mural, created in 2019, seeks to represent the past and present of the towering Titan sports story. The 97 images encompass all 22 current intercollegiate sports. Charles Buzz Riddle started coaching at Westminster College in 1956. He went 216 and 91 overall. After 12 seasons coaching at Westminster College, he then coached at Pitt for another 7. He was inducted into the Titan Hall of Fame in 1964, the NAIA Hall of Fame in 1969, the Western PA Coach Hall of Fame in 1980, the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 1992, and the Pittsburgh Basketball Club Hall of Fame in 2019.
Great story there about Emily Talis and Buzz Riddle Gym, iconic place on campus. Me and you both being on the lacrosse team, we had the luxury of practicing inside. Wasn't the best, but the heat definitely gets to you slipping all over the place. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic gym. The court is amazing, the bleachers, everything. Such a great atmosphere. And being there at games, it's like none other.
Absolutely. And speaking of lacrosse, I think we're going to have a little interview coming up with someone from our lacrosse team and with our lacrosse coach.
Absolutely. Here's Ethan Kurtz with Coach Anthony Accardi.
Thank you, Jordan and Jake. I'm Ethan Kurtz here for Titantown Sports with Coach Anthony Accardi. We're going to be tossing some lacrosse and talking about the upcoming season.
Let's do it.
So, Coach, third year here. How are you feeling after 2 seasons under your belt, and what are you looking forward to in year 3?
Yeah, no, it feels good. It's kind of crazy. I'm already in year 3, but kind of expecting same thing that my first 2 seasons brought. The goal is to get another 10-win season under our belt. Make the playoffs yet again, and I think we have all the tools to make that happen. It's an exciting year for me. Obviously, I got 2 recruiting classes on campus now, so a couple guys of my own on this team now, see what they can do. So definitely excited for that.
Speaking of the 10-win seasons, 3 straight of those, what's it going to take to get over the hump and push to 11, 12 wins and make a run in the playoffs?
For sure, we're definitely looking to set the single season win record. Like you said, 3 straight seasons of 10 wins, and it's going to take a lot. A lot of effort for all of our guys. We got a real tough non-conference schedule this year, so it's going to be a little more challenging than my first couple years here. But I'm excited about it. My whole philosophy is schedule to where you want to get to, not where you currently are.
Definitely.
So, every day we just gotta focus. Can't waste any days. That's why I preach to the team. Keep working hard in the weight room, and I think if we do all the little things right, we got some great leaders on this team, some good new young guys. I think we'll be right in the mix of where we have been in the past. But definitely looking to get over that hump. Year 1, I was number 3 seed. Last year we were the number 4 seed. A little disappointing there, but excited to see what we can do this year. Definitely have Grove City circled on the calendar already.
And aside from Grove City, you mentioned hard out of conference schedule. What's another game you're looking forward to this year?
There's a bunch of games I'm excited for. One that kind of stands out to me is Worcester. We played them, my last 2 seasons here and haven't been able to beat them yet, so we play them early in the season. Wittenberg's another one. They came to us last year and, didn't go our way, so another tough, NCAC opponent there. And then, another one that I'm excited for is the Manhattanville game. We take the trip out to New York City, and, I'm excited about that. That's obviously, my neck of the woods, so my whole family would be at that game, and another good non-conference opponent. So those are kind of 3 that I'm real excited about.
What's one goal at the end of the season? If you could pick one, where do you want Westminster lacrosse to be at when things are all said and done?
If I could pick one, I would say it's That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Obviously I want to be, playing in the conference championship at the end of the year. But I would say if there's one goal that would be important for, this senior class for sure, it would be having a home playoff game.
Yeah.
So that means finishing top 2.
Definitely.
Right. So I think that's something that's a realistic goal for us. So that would be the one I would choose for these seniors. They've been in the playoffs every year, just never had a home playoff game.
Thank you, Coach Accardi. Really looking forward to the upcoming lacrosse season. Jordan and Jake, back to you.
Thanks, Ethan. Amazing story there with Coach Anthony Accardi, and he's a man both of us know real well. I want to ask you, as a freshman coming into the lacrosse team, what are your personal thoughts on Coach Accardi?
I think he's a great coach. Every practice, I feel like he's bringing the energy, and he's always bringing us up, and I think it's great. He always is really inspiring, I think. And whenever I'm having trouble, he'll pull me to the side and tell me what I need to do and how to use my body really well in the sport. And I think that's really important to me.
Absolutely. I think the main thing I love most about Coach Accardi is just he's so for our team. He always has our back. He's always there for us. I remember a few instances last year in a couple of games where a certain call was made. He was screaming at the ref, almost getting penalties, throwing his stick, hat, whatever he had. He was always there and had our backs. And that's just something you can't ask any more for in a coach. It's a great time, great experience always having him, except being a goalie. The great pleasure I get to have. Warm-ups, not fun at all, let me tell you. Seeing 6-7 yard step downs inside, not very fun, especially when you get hit. Fun fact about me, I broke my thumb my freshman year, and before I knew it was broken, in a practice, first shot of warm-ups, Coach Accardi, right to it. That was probably the finishing job, but again, great guy, can't ask for more in a coach. And also, I want to ask you, Coach Dillon, second year as an assistant coach. I still have my personal opinions, but I want to ask you as a freshman as well. What are your thoughts on him?
I think Coach Dillon is an awesome guy. He's always so funny, just bringing the energy. Even at 6 in the morning, he's always just ready to go and always has a smile on his face and always trying to make somebody else smile. So I think it's a great time having Coach Dillon around.
Absolutely. He's another great addition to the team. He played at Allegheny, came here last year, and just another great coach, a great person to have. And like you said, brings great energy. 6 a.m. practices, no one wants to be there. He wants to be there. He makes people want to be there. Just a great guy.
I agree. And as we're talking about spring sports, I think we should take a look at some baseball and softball.
Welcome back to another edition of Prime Cuts, but today's episode is very different, special to say the least. It's behind the scenes for baseball and softball, spring sports, and today we're going to take a deep dive into that. Starting off the men's team, the men's baseball team looked to build up another good year as they qualified for another PAC tournament appearance, as they went 20-22 overall, but 11-9 in conference play. Led by head coach Pat Riley, he has high expectations in his 6th season at the helm. With all the weights lifted and the sprints ran, the Titans are looking in great shape as their first game is coming up on February 22nd in 30 days against Hilbert in a doubleheader here in New Wilmington. With that being said, the Titans are trying to go maniac mode as they look to get every single rep in so they can be in tip-top shape going against non-conference opponents, because we all know Coach Riley doesn't schedule them easy and he likes a good competition. Though I can only capture batting practice, do not get it twisted. The Titans are working around the clock, with pitching going on as well as fielding. As the Titans have one of the best bullpens in all the PAC, they look to keep it going as they have a treacherous schedule ahead in conference play, but they look not to back down to no one, as the Titans really are seeking after that PAC championship. And as you see here, the work is being put in. They're chopping wood and carrying water like the only way they know how to. And up next is something special, something you've never seen before, something that is really getting me excited. It's got me feeling nicey. We have your reigning, defending PAC champs of the world, the women's softball team, as they are led by head coach Jan Redinger in her 27th season, as she looks to get another one, as DJ Holly would say, in this PAC conference. With a tough gym schedule to go against, Coach Redinger can only get the gym so much, but that does not stop her defending championship players from getting that work in. As I got to catch Mia Mahalik and Sam Holding down in the gym, getting some extra reps and stuff that champions do, that take you to the next level, that gets you there, son. And you may ask yourself, RJ, you keep talking about this championship season, this, that, the third. Well, then tell me about it. Well, let me tell you about it then, all right? They won an overall whopping 26-13 overall, 15-5 in conference play, 13-3 at home, and 7-4 away. They even qualified for the NCAA tournament, and they definitely took care of business there, losing to a very stacked Trine team at the beginning part of the tournament. They bounced back with a tough win over Wisconsin Stevens, 2-1, that eventually fell to Mount Union, who's a powerhouse in the Ohio region. But don't be mistaken, the lessons were learned, and they will be applied to this upcoming season. And then you say, RJ, what about the great senior class that left? Maddie Brown, Liz Malzak, Alyssa Stock, just to name a few. You know what I say to you? I say this, I say, dude, they're still stacked and jacked like no other. They got a coach like Coach Renninger who's like Master Yoda out there, commanding the Jedi. How could you lose? They're disciplined, they're focused, but most importantly, they're hungry. And they're hungry because March 9th at 11:15 a.m. at the Spring Games in Florida, they're going to take care of business against North Park. And then after that, the reign of terror continues for the Titans as they defend that PAC championship and hope to make it back to that national stage. And with all that good stuff being said, brother, women's softball team, handling business. Men's baseball team, revenge tour. Whichever one you watch will be a thrill. And that's all for this episode of Prime Cuts. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week.
Great story there by RJ, and the thing that caught my eye the most was the softball PAC championship. That was probably the most incredible, insane, action-packed series ever. Both games only had 2-1 and then 1-0. Low-scoring games. It was a pitching duel, but the first game was just so electric. You thought one team was going to win it because bases were loaded. Next thing you know, double play and strikeout, innings over. And the Titans actually took the lead late in the game, and it went to the top of the ninth inning. They had 2 outs. They were right there for the first time in almost 20 years. They were going to capture that PAC championship. Home run for Waynesburg, and I just remember seeing that ball sail over the fence, and I didn't know what to do. Everyone in the stands was just like, you can't be serious. It's a curse. The Jan Renninger curse is real. And then thankfully the next game, it was just, again, another pitching duel. And then bottom of the ninth inning, or extra innings, I believe, Ava Carpa hit a chopper to first, got past the first baseman, and then Ellie Shea scored the winning run. PAC championship secured, and Jan Renninger finally captured that ring. Incredible display of athleticism by both teams, Titans and the Waynesburg team. Great game by both of them. Couldn't ask for a better series.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool. Actually, Ava Carpa was my OL, so that was pretty cool.
Next up, we have Ken Momeyer and Tim McNeil here.
Ken Momeyer here with head track and field coach and cross country coach Tim McNeil. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Perfect. Let's start off with some questions here. I've got to start off with the most important question. You're a track and field star here. You're a football star here. What is your favorite sport?
Basketball.
Basketball? There you go.
Well, no, I always have loved whatever sport I'm doing.
Right.
It didn't really matter. If in high school I did 4 sports. I also played soccer.
Yeah.
And whatever sport I was doing, that was my favorite sport. It just turned out that I really enjoy coaching track and field better than a lot of those other sports. Although, if you ask me, I started coaching 5th and 6th grade girls basketball this year because of my daughter, and I really love that. Yeah. So,
I was trying
my next career maybe.
Do you feel a sense of pride being an alumni here and being such a familiar face and coming back and coaching?
Absolutely. When you ask me about what I really love, I feel like I don't have a job. I get to come play every single day.
Yeah.
Coaching track and field and coaching cross country is a passion. I love it so much, and just what we're doing is really fun. Or what we're doing is big, I feel like, and we've done some really big things, so it's been great.
You travel to Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio later this week. Are you doing anything specific for that, or how do you see that going?
To be honest, right now we're struggling with this weather.
Yeah.
It's a real challenge right now. The treadmills downstairs have been shut down. So our distance guys and middle distance people are really struggling. We are often able to go to Youngstown State.
Yeah.
They shut down their facility this week. So I am, when you walked into my office, that's what I'm planning on.
Right.
How are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So that is always the case. Even in the spring, we deal with weather.
Right.
Typically in indoor, because we're an indoor facility, we don't have to deal with it. here we are dealing with
Yeah,
it. So
exactly.
it's okay. That's what my job is. It's plan B, plan C, plan D, and we'll figure it out.
Multi-sport athletes are kind of a hot topic in sports right now. Obviously, as a multi-sport athlete yourself and coaching multi-sport athletes like Breonna Davis, who plays on the basketball team, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it takes time away from your focus? Or do you think it improves your athleticism?
I'm a big believer that track and field is a benefit to all other sports.
Right.
We're going to make you faster. We're going to make you jump higher. We're going to make you tougher. We're going to make you stronger.
Yeah.
In a basketball game in the fourth quarter when you're tired, you're going to think about, oh my gosh, I have to run a 400 meters. That's really being tired. In football, we teach people how to run, how to be more efficient in their running so they don't get as tired. So I will always fight for 2-sport and 3-sport and 4-sport athletes.
Right.
They are a dying breed, and I feel like I'm fighting the good fight, and I'm actually losing it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue to fight it, and I do think that track and field can help every other sport.
Thanks, Coach McNeil. I'm Ken Momeyer with Titantown Sports. Back to you, Jake and Jordan.
Another amazing story there by Ken and Tim McNeil, just pretty much a legend here at Westminster College. Him and Sean O'Shea connecting on an incredible drive leading up to a national championship victory. And I need to ask you, as a storied athlete at a college and being able to come back and coach, what do you think that means to the community and the whole college as a whole?
I think it shows how much you really love the place that you went to. I think it shows like he really cares and he wants to give back to the community and like the teams, and he wants to lead the teams to success. So I think it's really important to have somebody that really cares and wants to lead their team.
I agree 100%. And Tim McNeil, just an incredible coach. He was an incredible athlete. He's maybe even a better coach. He sent many players to go on great lengths, multiple All-Americans, a couple national champions. Can't really ask for much more out of a coach. Again, I know we talked about it earlier with Coach Cardi, but Tim McNeil is kind of that staple coach and a great example of what you should look like.
Absolutely, and it always seems like everybody's having fun during the time that they're having, during the track season. And I think that's really important too.
Absolutely. Fun's a great thing to have, and having a lot of fun in Wilmington Town. Here's a story by Tom Rook on Wilmington.
Thanks, Jake and Jordan. I'm Tom Rook here for Titantown Sports. Let's check out New Wilmington in this cold, icy snowstorm.
This week, it was a star-studded matchup between Westminster College and, you guessed it, Winter. Not your typical PAC conference matchup, but snow is everywhere in New Wilmington, as the Westminster College sign and Old Main are shown here, surrounded by winter's gift. Our beloved New Wilmington is covered in snow, but that doesn't stop the places we love from dominating the game. Let's take a quick tour, looking at Pizza Joe's, Gilliland's Market, and the rest of town as the freezing temperatures are in full swing. The snow and cold have hit New Wilmington hard. It's gotten to as low as -8 degrees and a wind chill of -10 this week at the Mother Fair. It's going to warm up to a high of 30 degrees this weekend for what will feel like a Lawrence County heat wave after multiple days in the negatives. Here comes the Tavern on the Square, but just a reminder that this show, Titantown Sports, comes out every Thursday, so even during the cold temperatures, don't forget to tune in. Also, don't forget to layer up hats, gloves, scarves, boots, and any other winter gear you can think of. However, don't forget to rep that Titan Blue to support our winter athletes that are in full swing of their seasons.
Thanks, Tom, for that great story about Wilmington. It makes me so excited to be able to go to Westminster College and be in this great community. But I want to give a special shout out to Derek Douglas of Sharon against Hickory. He dropped his 1,000th point
When
this
Douglas
week.
gets his 1,000th, they will stop the game. Obviously, a very special moment. 100 years of Sharon basketball. Derek would be the 7th player ever to do it. So, yeah, they're going to stop the game, which is a great gesture by Hickory to allow that to happen.
And now we'll go to Douglas. Left side for Hailstock. Hailstock into the paint, dumps it to Douglas. Douglas to the basket, ready, layup up and in! And Derek Douglas has now scored 1,000 career points.
Derek Douglas becomes the 8th, checked out the 7th player in Sharon Tiger history as he gets a standing ovation. The team comes out to celebrate, and I'm sure from Derek's perspective, he's happy about the 1,000th point, and he's also happy that basket gave his team the lead.
Again, congratulations there, Derek. And what an amazing call by the voice of the Titans, Mark Slazak. And I got to ask you, 1,000 points as a high schooler, it's an incredible accolade. I need to ask you, Jake, have you ever had any career milestones?
Yeah, I have actually. I surpassed the 100 and 200 goal mark in high school for New Jersey, and it's the record for my high school. So it's pretty cool, and it's an amazing feeling, and I can only imagine what he felt right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask you, how did that feel knowing that you were at the top of that list?
It felt really good, and it was really exciting, and it just meant a lot for my team too, I think. So
absolutely. Well, Jake, I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your first time on set.
Yes, I did. It was a great time. I think I had an amazing time, and I think it went really well.
Absolutely, you did a great job. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Titantown Sports. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm Roseanne Scott, the head women's basketball coach at Westminster College. That was Titantown Sports. We'll see you next week.